Max Payne 2 was met with a more mixed reaction than the first game. On the one hand, fans and critics loved the game and viewed it as near perfection for its time. The sequel provided more of what made the first game so memorable, but with a major graphical update. However, there was a good amount of complaints too. With a shorter development cycle, it wasn't dramatically different or even longer than the original. Many complained that the game had a bit too much plot and found the story to be too convoluted. Also, Bullet Time 2.0 was arguably too akin to a superhero power that made the game much easier and less tactical than the first game. Still, what it lacked in length it made up for in production and quality. Despite its high praises, the game was met with lackluster sales upon its debut, which put the future of the series in doubt. The ending of Max Payne 2 closed off a lot of plot points in the story. Many of the characters in the series were killed off, and the only main survivors were Max and Bravura. When completed on the highest difficulty, Mona would have survived as well, but that scene is officially not canon. Other than a GBA remake of the first Max Payne, fans were eager to hear about a true sequel to Max Payne. In the PC version of Max Payne 2, it is explicitly hinted at with the line during the end credits of the game, "Max Payne's journey through the night will continue." In 2004, Max Payne 3 was mentioned by Take-Two Interactive to be in development, but a level designer at Remedy claimed that they were not working on it. Since then, rumors began to emerge that Rockstar Toronto, the development team behind The Warriors, would be working on the game. Since then, Sam Lake and Remedy Entertainment have moved on from Max Payne and partnered with Microsoft to work on a new psychological thriller, Alan Wake. Still, fans of the series continue to be inspired by Max Payne and created other works based on the franchise. Many fans began to develop their own films based on the Max Payne universe, including their own original stories.
Freeze! NYPD!
Payne, get him! Get him! Bless us!
Se hai intenzione di farli fuori uno a uno, fatti avanti. Così non corro il rischio che mi vengano a cercare per averti dato queste informazioni.
Di questo non ti devi preoccupare.
In 2006, Sonar Pictures, an independent film studio in the UK, announced Max Payne, Payne and Redemption, a short film based on an original story. The film was met with various delays and increasing budgets until the studio was ultimately forced to stop its production due to a copyright infringement. Still, since the movie was an original story featuring an entire cast of original characters other than Max Payne, the film is now being remade without the Max Payne name attached to it. In 2008, 20th Century Fox announced the film adaptation of Max Payne. The film was directed by John Moore, best known for directing the film Behind Enemy Lines, and Mark Wahlberg was cast in the role of the main protagonist. The plot of the movie was loosely based on the first game in the series and featured many of the same characters from the game. Leading up to the film's release, there was much anticipation being generated from fans and the people behind the movie.
I was a little hesitant when I heard that Max Payne was based on a video game, just because I hadn't seen any video games with that intricate a story. But after, obviously reading the script and then seeing the game, I thought it was pretty damn cool, And again, I knew that after reading the script, the game fans would definitely be satisfied, and also, it was appealing enough to draw in a whole other crowd.
Despite the game's mature-rated content, the film received a PG-13 rating. Prior to the release of the movie, there was already speculation of a sequel in the works that would be determined by the success of this film.
If we could make it better than the first, then I'd be willing to. I'd entertain that idea. But this, I don't know. A lot of movies that kind of mess up the, they mess them up after doing 2 or 3 of them.
Well, you think you're going to take a good 6-8 months to get the script to where it needs to be, so touch wood, who knows? And again, this is all dependent on whether people warm to him or not. But you could see this, you could see part 2 being filmed maybe next November.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm busy. I'm already
November of
ready.
next year. It's crazy time for me. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think I'm kidding.
I'm down.
The film was released in theaters in North America on October 17, 2008. Unfortunately, like many video game adaptations before it, the film received mostly negative reviews.
And what does that mean?
Get your shit, get out.
The overall plot and action sequences in the movie were viewed by many critics and fans as being flat and uninspired. One of the main reasons behind these complaints was that the essence of the original games, which were heavily inspired by John Woo action films, was strongly lacking in the film version.
None of it makes any sense.
Instead of aspiring to be what the games were, the film came off as just plain generic. Still, the movie proved to be a solid success at the box office, leaving the option of another film a possibility to the filmmakers.
I think twice about that.
While Max Payne wasn't one of the biggest franchises of all time, it has become one of the most memorable. Fans remember the series for its unique atmosphere, dark story, and action-packed gameplay. Despite having only 2 main installments, Max Payne has sold well over 7 million copies, proving that it could be a successful franchise both critically and commercially. So, the chance of another game is more of an inevitability than wishful thinking. Still, what made the series so compelling was the character himself and his path of revenge and redemption, which was encapsulated in both games. The Max Payne series has inspired other developers with their own interpretations, and even going so far as inspiring those who inspired its creators. Its influence on the industry will always live on, whether it is through another game or its enthusiastic fan base. Whatever does happen, it's already been shown that Max's journey through the night will never end.
In our headlights, staring bleak, beer cans, deer's eyes on the asphalt, underneath our crushed plans and my lies, lonely street signs, power lines, they keep on flashing, flashing by, and we keep driving into the night. It's a late goodbye, such a late goodbye, and we keep driving into the night. It's a late goodbye. Your breath hot upon my cheek, and we crossed that line. You made me strong when I was feeling flaming hair, and then we're playing hide and seek. I can't breathe easy here, that's our trail's gone cold behind us. Till in the jawed mirror you stare at yourself grown old and